Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. So in today's episode, we are going to get started on some of the components for our fission reactor that we're going to need. We're not quite to making our fissile fuel and all of that yet, but we should be very close. We're going to take a look at some of the things needed for the next step in our in-game quests as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so for starters, as I said at the beginning of the last episode, I had a lot of stuff pinned in an ambitious manner, thinking maybe we would get to it. So there's a few things I want to go over. So fission reactor casings and stuff, these are things that we should have been able to make once we got to our quantum assembler. I don't think there was too much limitations that we didn't have up till that point, because, you know, by the time we get there, we're already going to space and everything else. So we have most of the recipes for these casings and whatnot already in. Or we have most of the ingredients, for all of these recipes already in our system. So let's go take a look at getting the fission reactor casing, the fission reactor port, and the fission fuel assembly, and some reactor glass added to our patterns so that when we are ready to make them, they're in there and we can just craft them up. Now, I know you guys have seen patterns 100 times. If you guys are tired of seeing them, let me know. But I know there's a lot of people that, you know, they're liking the step-by-steps, the walkthroughs. So as we go through here, you'll see right there on the casings, everything we need for this is already there, already has a recipe, and the only thing that doesn't have a recipe is already being made automatically. The portions are correct. That's something always to check with your fluids. Make sure that it says 1 bucket there. And then when you add it, make sure it's here, because sometimes when you go to make the pattern, it's just wrong. Like, I don't know why it's wrong, but it's wrong. And you can always fix it, middle click on it, change your quantity, good to go. So now we have our casings. Now it takes casings to make this one, but it's not showing that it's craftable, but we have that recipe sitting right there to add in. And then this one here, lead ingots, we don't need a recipe for. Everything else has a recipe. There we go. And reactor glass. Enriched iron. I pinned it because when I was looking through this in between, that's one we're going to need to get to. So we are making enriched iron, but we have that set up in a process that just keeps our steel stocked up. So I don't want to interrupt that one. So I think what we'll do is we'll just introduce another metallurgic infuser to make our steel or our enriched iron we need for this in another thing. So it takes 0.1 of carbon, but we're going to take that out because we're going to just export the enriched carbon into the chemical infuser, or not the metallurgic infuser, and have it, you know, just do carbon, because we already have one set up for redstone that we can add patterns to. So let's get a metallurgic infuser. Do we have any? Nope. All right, let's grab one out. In case you guys don't know, I do it all the time, but I don't know if I've talked about it. If you go to craft something and it shows like it doesn't have it, but it's blue, it says it on the screen. If you hold down Control and then click it, that's how you get it to bring up the menu to let you automatically craft the components. So then all you got to do is just wait on your system to finish crafting them up. And then they'll actually, as you can see right there, they will, you know, the blue will go away and they turn into a regular color once they finish. So we're just waiting on that last one. There we go. Now I can make our metallurgic infuser. That'll go with that. We're going to need a pattern provider for that as well. So let's go ahead and grab one of those. Pattern provider. So that'll get us a metallurgic infuser set up for anything that we need that's carbon infused. I mean, we've gotten this long and all we need is enriched iron, but I would rather just set one up and then we can toss pattern in it later if we need to. So we're going to leave these pinned because we're going to need to make a bunch of them, but I wanted them up here for us to talk through. Now, let's go get all this done. So let's get these patterns put in. So these patterns are processing pattern, crafting pattern. So this processing pattern goes in our, what is that thing called? It is an entangled block. So here we go. We added that an extended pattern provider. Thanks again to the guy in the comments who, told me I was doing it the wrong way. Appreciate that. And then the rest of those three are just crafting patterns. So they'll go down here into our molecular assemblers. Now, this is here. We're not even going to talk about it. I was playing with an ME level emitter and I couldn't get an export bus to shut off with a redstone signal. We're going to have to work on that. Hopefully I can go over it and cover these with you in another episode, but they were not behaving like I wanted them to in this one. So now let's go grab this metallurgic infuser, get it added in down here. I think we got room on this row where we got power coming in. Oh, we sent power to that with a doohickey. How are we on channels? We should be fine on channels, right? Cool. Since we're good on channels, I'm just going to pull over and make another row of this light blue. That way, you know, we can utilize the P2P that we have set up. Looks like I might need a couple more light blue cables. So light blue dye. That is one thing I miss in this pack. I really wish we had some way to, you know, make dye. Like, I love the Mystical Agriculture dye seed where you get the essence for it. I guess I could set up like each of them, or set up some automation with some Botania flowers or something. Haven't needed it, but it is kind of annoying to have to make them all by hand. And by hand, I mean click a button. You know, it's really, really difficult. It's, you know, giving me arthritis in my clicking finger or something. So we'll go ahead and make enough of these. Now we can probably just steal power from that row. Oh, look, there's our flux point, like right there. Let's grab out our ultimate cables. Pull it over a couple blocks here. Break the one I placed that I shouldn't have. So now, metallurgic infuser right here. Pattern provider right on top. And then this is also going to need the enriched carbon in it. So we're going to need to pull over and down. And then we're going to tell we need an export bus. And then let's come in here and let's clear all sides. So items, input, output from the top. And then from the left, we want that yellow slot. Yellow. Now, items auto eject on. Then we need our export bus here. You get enriched carbon, which is automatically being made, so we don't have to worry about it. You'll see it filling up there slowly. I don't know that we'll need any acceleration cards in there, but I got plenty of them, so let's just fill it up. Pattern provider here for our enriched iron, and we can test it. So enriched iron. Can you make 10? Definitely going to want to get some speed and energy upgrades in here. Speed. Sure, 7 of them. What about energy? Do we have any left? Seems like I'm always out of energy upgrades. Yep, but there's our enriched iron coming back, so we do know that it'll work. Let's see if it just dies when we stick all 7 of them in. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, and we'll bring that power cost down with our energy upgrades once they finish. There's 3 of them. That should be enough to get it down to a more reasonable number. There we go. So, metallurgic infuser set up for the enriched iron for all of our fission casings, ports, fuel rod assemblies, and reactor glass. We should now be able to set up everything we need for our fission fuel. At the end of the last episode, we were waiting on the craft to finish for our first ultimate control circuits, and they did. So let's stick those into our inventory. And wow, we got purple quests completed, and it did not blow up our eardrums with that super loud sound, which is nice. But also, like, I kind of wanted to hear it. So here we go. We actually get a reward for ultimate tiers, which we've been getting from the bees. We've probably got enough of these that we'll never have to make the ultimate tier factory upgrades. I mean, look at this. Ultimate. We got 42. Answer to life, the universe, and everything. Ultimate tier installers that we've not paid for. And I've actually already used some of the ones we got for free to upgrade a few things. I think we went over that on camera. But yes, so that gave us, oddly enough, some speed and energy upgrades, which we just put energy upgrades in there. So we'll toss these into our storage for the next time. But there's our ultimate control circuits. Now, we were waiting on those because those are a required component for the craft of our isotopic centrifuge. This is our path to fissile fuel. So here we go. Let's get some fissile fuel going. And then we're going to need to build that reactor for all the stuff that we just put patterns and set up for. Do you see where I'm going with this? There's a plan. I mean, not much of a plan. Trust me. My plans are not very in-depth. It's more like I know this much, and I'm going to start down the road, and I'll figure out the rest as I go. That's kind of how my plans go. Now, I think we need 2 of these, but I'm going to hold off, and I'm actually going to tell the system, let's see if we can get, like, you know, can we get 10 of these? Because I don't necessarily know how many we're going to need. Okay, I got no crafting CPUs available, and I'm missing diamonds. Okay, so what about 5? Still got no crafting CPUs available, and I'm still missing 16 diamonds. So 2? Cool. All right, so we'll tell it to make us another couple. But here is our isotopic centrifuge. Now, our fissile fuel, I do believe, is still a non-reactive substance. So we can still make this one last piece outside of our compact machines we talked about. So let's head upstairs and come over to the brown area because, you know, we're making waste, so got to use the brown. So we're going to grab out our brown cables, and I'm just going to pull us a patch over right here and down. And I think this is a 2-block tall machine. It sure is. Now, I don't know if this is one of those mechanism machines that we have to put things into the right slots, but maybe not. It looks like it cannot, the top can't be clicked, so we will not be able to do anything into the top of it. So let's pull this out one more block, or over one more block, I guess. We could put it, because then we have that one port where we can get to it. So let's come on down, grab some power over. Let's go grab our cobble before we close the ceiling floor up. And, well, we won't be closing it up because we'll be putting the cable there, but yeah, can't drop down through it anymore. So here is our isotopic centrifuge. This thing is going to take our whatever we've been making, cryo fuel, is it, that I got to run through here? I don't remember. Let's go look. Let's go to uses on the isotopic centrifuge, whatever. I'm probably saying it wrong. Yep, so this is where we take our uranium hexafluoride and we turn it into the fissile fuel. This is what we're going to use in our reactor. So we're going to take an export bus and export the uranium hexafluoride. Actually, do we need to export bus it? Isn't it right here? So this chemical infuser, if we go to gases, we've got our two inputs. What about our output? Can we just output to the front of this and we can just stick that thing right there? Let's do that. Gases, front, output. Let's move this thing. I know I didn't set it up over here, but sometimes I, wonder whether you want to see when I second guess things. Power, isotopic. Oh, wow. Yep, there we go. Making our fissile fuel. So we'll bring a cable over, and then is fissile fuel a gas or a liquid? Considering we only have gases. So that brings me to something else I discovered. So we've been setting these tanks up on external storage buses, which I knew there had to be another way to do it. I just didn't go looking. We have discs. We have chemical discs, which I believe will hold our gas types for mechanism and allows us to store them in there without having to occupy channels for those tanks. I don't think it'll allow us to dump excess on any of the ones that we want to dump excess on, which is fine. So, but for what we're needing to do right now, I think this is a good case to use one of those discs. Now, do I think I need a 256, storage disk full? Probably not, but I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. So this is another one of those. We're going to have to chase this. I think we have all of this all automated, so that's not a problem, but we do not have the chemical housing. So let's go take a look. So in the diamond metallurgic infuser, which we have one of those set up, it takes an osmium circuit and a housing. So let's put that in here. Oh, wait, we don't want these in there. So there is that pattern. Now let's go look at what the osmium circuit takes. So in the inscriber, those silicone stuff's being made automatically. So this goes in the inscriber. Let's find our inscriber first. What is it called? It's got another name. Something. It's a fancy inscriber. Might just have to go find it if I can't find it in here. Why can I not find it in here? Advanced inscriber. There we go. So the inscriber gets this. The metallurgic infuser. Oh, that's a redstone. We do not have a diamond one. We're going to need another metallurgic infuser. Who'd have seen that coming? And then our crafting pattern. So let's go ahead and toss our crafting pattern in. And then we're going to set up one more metallurgic infuser, just like we just did. Metallurgic infuser. There we go. Get all that stuff crafting up. Grab out a pattern provider, regular pattern provider, pattern. And let's go head out there to the light blue land and tie it in. Holy cow, that's a gnarly lightning in my ears. Let's make it daytime. And for those of you wondering why I take the elevator block downstairs if I'm going all the way to the other side, I don't know. I don't know, man. I can teleport all the way over here. I don't know why I do the things I do sometimes, okay? All right, so this one, let's pull it this way, and we can share this little middle link right here. That'll work just fine. And then we'll put another metallurgic infuser once it's done. We're crafting the pieces we need. Just waiting on that signalum gear. It's probably waiting on the signalum to go through the arc furnace. Yep, there's a lot of signalum going through the arc furnace right now. Oh, it's the signalum for those. For the ultimate control circuits I requested. Dang. We could quick craft one. I can come steal some signalum out of here. So let me grab some of that, right? And then I think that's what's used for the gear, or is it? It might be the ingots, which is fine. And if it's the ingots, well, I mean, it's not fine because I don't have a stockpile of them. So I guess we'll just have to wait out for that metallurgic infuser. So give me just a minute while I wait that out. All right, y'all. So I didn't figure you needed to see another one of those. We went ahead and set up another metallurgic infuser, set it up with enriched diamond being going into it, and then added a pattern provider so that we can set up the craft for our chemical storage cells. Now, I was thinking about it while I was doing all that, and I don't think that we really need the 256. I know I said it, but I think we're going to let's step it down to something like a 64K. So we're going to add a pattern for this 64K so that we can craft up one of those. Now, the only reason we need the pattern for the 64K is if we want to craft it, because all of the storage components and the housings, they all are the same. So we don't necessarily need to do any of that. We just need to make sure we have the right housing and then the right, special one, because this is expert in there. So now we should be able to request up a 64K chemical storage disk. So let's get one of these requested up. Ooh, it looks like there were some components in there that we may not have on AutoCraft. Well, I guess we'll find out if we run out of them. We had enough for this one. But let's let that work. And let's go take a look at how our fissile fuel production is going. Oh, we're full up. So let's go ahead and grab out this brown cable, get an import bus going. So brown, and then an import bus. We'll put some acceleration cards on it just because I don't know the throughput we're going to need on this machine as we step up the power, and then we don't want to have to worry about it. So then our isotopic centrifuge, output to the front, it can input from everywhere else. Eject is on. So that gets us our fissile fuel. And then we're going to need to link up to the inside of the compact machine. Now, there's two ways to go about it. They gave us one of the quantum entangloporters. However, quantum entangloporter will move like stuff, power, water, whatever, but it does not move your network, which is the downside. So if we're going to want to set up automatically importing and exporting and moving things that are tied into our AE2 here at the base inside of a compact machine, we're actually going to need to get the network in. If we just wanted to send the fissile fuel in and then send something else out, sure, quantum entangleport will work for that. We can just set up import and export buses on the different faces of it here in the overworld, set the other one, pull the things out, not a problem. Seems more complicated than setting up another quantum link ring, so let's get those going. Let's get quantum. We need 8 of you. Actually, we're going to need 16 of you, because that's one for this side and one for the other side. And then we're going to need 2 of these, and then we should have some singularities, right? Yep, we should have some singularities. And then if we take, we blow one up, right? Transformation. You explode it with an ender pearl dust, and it gives me 2. Okay, so then we need ender pearl dust. So this is going to get us our entangled stuff. We'll head back to storage, up and then out. We just need to pick somewhere to blow it up. Should be good, like right here. Let's toss our singularity in. Oh, we didn't grab any TNT. I think we got some. So we'll grab our TNT, grab out a flint and steel, throw you in there, put the TNT there. Those items are still there. Cool. And then blow it up. And there are our entangled singularities. Now we just got to fill the hole back in. I do love the change when they made it where, you don't lose items. Creeper holes can be refilled with, the explosion debris after, 1.19 that they added that? 18? I don't know. One of the updates, they made it where creepers don't destroy blocks anymore. So there we go. Now we've got our quantum entangled singularities. We're just waiting on our ring to get crafted up. And we will then be able to link our network and get our fissile fuel into a compact machine. So there is our chamber. We have enough for the overworld because it's just 8. So if we come out here to AE2 things, we're going to need to just add another one of these somewhere. We want to add it on the backbone and use P2P to get to our main network. So let's just let's pull this over a little right here. So if we come there, and then that's the edge, and then that's the first row, and then that's the middle of this one. So then if I come straight up, and go right here. Put our link chamber in the middle, tie it in here, make sure we're good on channels. Yep. Then we're going to put one of the singularities in here. This device should now be online and ready to handle some P2P networks on the other side. Now, let's grab out a P2P tunnel. So ME P2P right there. And then we're going to need a memory card and an item frame so that we got something to put it in. Let's grab some channels. Let's also get our Paxel that storage keeps trying to steal for whatever reason. Yep, this is an empty one, which is fine by me. So we've got some channels. This is ready to go. We just need our quantum link stuff. We were waiting on something else to finish crafting too, and now I have forgotten. Oh, we need to start crafting up the stuff for our Fissile fuel reactor. So let's go have a look at that part of the quest book real quick. So it's actually over here under powering up, tier 4. We could make these when we made our fluxated magnetite, but there were other pieces of this that we just couldn't make back then. So for the thing, it wants us to make a reactor casing and or glass, Fissile fuel assembly, control rod, which we did not add in. So we need to add this control rod into the patterns. Let's get those because you need one of those at the top of each of the Fissile fuel assembly stacks. So let me get a pattern in for that, and then I will meet you guys inside of our compact machine. All right, here we are, y'all, inside of our compact machine. So one thing I want to cover with you quickly is, as you build out in here, you may find the spawn point that you come into your machine is not working, like you're spawning inside of a block and other stuff. So you can set a new spawn point anywhere inside of the compact machine by holding your personal shrinking device in your hand. And then if you shift right click, it's going to set a new spawn point where you are. So even if we were like 5 blocks up and we shift right clicked, it would set the spawn point there. Don't use this to troll your friends and make a spawn point up 13 blocks over spikes or lava. If you do and I hear about it, okay, I'll just point and laugh. But, you know, trolling's not nice. You know, people have feelings. Okay. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get our quantum link ring. Well, before the quantum link ring, one of the most important is we want this loaded. So this is going to need to be chunk loaded so that even when we're not inside the compact machine, it runs. Otherwise, what's the point? Now, we don't have any flight in here. Because that is at our base. So we're just going to stick our quantum ring right here on the wall. And we're going to put the chamber in the middle and add our singularity. Now, this is going to need power on this side of it as well, brought into the network, just like it needed power on the other side. So let's go, let's get out of here and grab the energy acceptor that I forgot to get and a flux point. All right, y'all, I made the mistake of looking at how long this episode is. So let's hope we can wrap this up and not give you 3 32-minute episodes in a row. But if that's the way it is, then so be it. So our thing is still offline. So let's solve that problem first. We're going to grab out some smart cable and we're going to grab out those flux points I just went and made. And we're just going to toss a piece of smart cable, like right up here. We'll put a few, and then we'll toss an energy acceptor. Let's go with below it, and then we're going to toss a flux point right here so that hopefully it's accessible to us if we need it for other processes. So we turned on bypass limit because you need that to kickstart the ring, and now, as you can see, our ring is online. So we have 8 channels available to us on our P2P network, which will get us our 32 channels on this tunnel right here. So that's going to get us going. Now, I mentioned that I needed to craft all this, but I don't know if I did it with you, so I crafted up like 50 of these, 3 control rod assemblies, 10 Fissile fuel assemblies, a fission reactor port, and I left my reactor glass in the other dimension. Hold on, let me grab it. So here we have it. Let's go take a look at the quest book, because the quest book's going to tell us how to make this stuff. Also, I think we need to make these. So radiation can leak into the environment if things happen like a meltdown or reactor running while full of waste, breaking any block that contains it. These materials are radioactive waste, plutonium pellets, polonium pellets, and spent nuclear waste. Radioactive waste is a gas that can be stored in waste barrels. In fact, that's the only place it can be stored. Shift right click one to see how full it is. Waste barrels will delete waste at 1 millibucket per second. As such, it's best to have a lot of them. Environmental radiation also dissipates over time, but over a much longer period of time. 50 in-game days. Oh my God. And you cannot safely move the environmental radiation. So These materials are radioactive, so we need our suit, I guess. So maybe we shouldn't make this today? Question mark? Yeah. So about wrapping that up in today's episode. I think we ought to just call it here. It's a lot. I know I didn't wrap up the stuff I said we were going to do at the very beginning, but I don't want to feed you guys like 32-minute episodes 3 days in a row. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode, and tomorrow we'll pick up right here where we left off, except we're going to make our suit and all of that fun stuff to make sure we don't like die repeatedly of radiation poisoning. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for future notifications, and we will see you all next time.